Hello and welcome back. Are you ready to awaken to the possibilities, the power of possibilities? Today, my guest is going to talk about how to do that through strategic leverage. If you truly want to make an impact in this world, this is definitely a skill that you want to have. And Coach A.M is on a mission to demonstrate this amazing superpower. Coach A.M. Williams is a breakthrough performance coach who helps owners in their service-based industry to elevate and scale through the power of strategic leverage. As the owner and founder of A.M. Williams Coaching Company, he has also consulted, coached, and trained numerous leadership professionals, coaches, and consultants, helping them to achieve greater freedom, flexibility, and fortunes in their lives. Diagnosed with incomplete paraplegia, which is an extreme weakness in the legs, Coach A.M. has discovered the gift of challenges and has mastered the art of leveraging without limits. In fact, you're in for a real special treat today because he just so happens to be my coach. So, Coach A.M., it's such an honor to have you here today. I am super excited, all the way from North Carolina, and I can't wait to delve into the power possibilities with you. So, welcome.
Ah, man, a pleasure being here with you, Jennifer. It's an awesome privilege and pleasure. I love this. I love your show.
Yeah, well, you know what, everyone? I've been attending the Breakthrough Brunch now that Coach A.M. leads with his sidekick. I don't even want to call him sidekick, his partner, Tom,
My rock star,
his rock
my resident
star.
rock star, Tom
His rock
Sputic.
star.
Shout out,
Yeah.
Tom.
Tom gets you get clear fast, and Coach just has all these amazing insights. And I know he's going to be bringing that for you all here today. We're also going to tell you how you can be a part of the Breakthrough Brunch as well, which is doesn't have any cost. This is a gift from Coach A.M.'s heart, and he put so much soul into it that I'm so grateful. And again, it's just such a pleasure having you on the show, Coach. But not everyone knows you just yet from this audience, and I'd love for them to get a little glimpse into what brought you into this place where you've been able to leverage without limits. Because I know it's probably at some point you felt you had a few, and that you've had to
Yeah.
overcome. So, what lit your path to do that?
So actually, I could say what lit the path was a 10-day death sentence. So literally, I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized. The doctors came in and he told me, he said, listen, Mr. Williams, if you don't make a shift and change, um, if you don't get this condition fixed, you could be dead in 10 days. The condition that he was talking about was I had developed, I had actually contracted MRSA in the operating room. And that set onto the onset of osteomyelitis, which was attacking my body in several different places. And it was progressing. It was starting to progress. And he was like, if we don't get this taken care of, you could be dead in 10 days. And I didn't um I didn't respond like in fear or anything. I just kind of, you know, told him, I said, well, I appreciate your your diagnosis, but you didn't make me, so you can't put an expiration date on me either. So I was fortunate enough to have a referral to another physician, and with a time clock of 10 days, I sought another physician and his help for me. And um, in that place, I had had a surgery and I was hospitalized. Um, but with the time ticking, I went through a series of events. Like, what do you do when you know that you've already been told I had 10 days to live?
Mhm.
Right. So, with the clock ticking, rather than me panicking and freaking out and losing out and trying to call all in my family and say my last goodbyes, a very interesting thing happened. I heard the voice of God speak to me and say, something in your life could be leveraged to create something that you want. My doctors came in and told me, Mr. Williams, we have done, can't do, any more surgeries um, because we run out of material. We don't have any more skin to pull from. My skin had gotten into a very bad place and they could only use so much of it because of the condition, what was going on. Well, what ended up happening at that time, he said, listen, the only option for you is you're going to have to dig deep within and heal yourself from the inside out. Well, I got now about 8 days. So what am I going to do? Right. So when I heard something in your life could be leveraged to create something that you want, well, okay, what did I have? And I started assessing what I did have. And through a, short period, I found the ways like, okay, I've been a pretty upbeat guy. I'm pretty good with people. I'm very inspirational. So I said, okay, well, I need to find a way to start inspiring people.
Mm.
And so when I would go to the sessions and therapy sessions, physical therapy sessions they had for me, I just started encouraging people, just touching people that I could. And then one day, it was actually in that same day, a guy told me, he said, man, you are a great coach. And I'm like, no, I don't coach any teams or nothing like that. He's like, no, I'm talking about a life coach. And I'm like, well, what's a life coach? So I go to the room, grab my computer. I'm in my hospital bed, and I find out what a life coach is. And they said, well, you can take this course right here and certify to become a life coach. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, all right. So I'm not even thinking about the concept of time. I devoured that course within like a couple of days. And I got a certification to become a life coach, right? And now, with all these, I later on went on to go to a full, you know, coaching program that was like over 10 months. But right then I took it and said, you know what? I got 10. I'm going to see how much I can get out of this. So I ended up becoming one. And I found out about this blog talk radio thing. I'm not advertising for them by any means. But I got on there and I started a podcast and I just started giving people what I needed and what I had. And that
Mm.
was just inspiring messages. I had all these inspiring things in me and I just started pouring into people. Well, I ended up getting an audience. And one day I got an email from a guy. It's probably about 3 days after that. So now I'm down to like 5 days. And this guy emails me and says, man, I absolutely love your program and your coach. So what are your coaching services? I want to hire you. Keep in mind, I'm in a hospital bed bound condition, 14 different medications, IVs, and 2 different arms.
Wow.
Okay. And with 5 days to live, this guy tells me he wants to hire me. I'm like, okay, God, this is just with 5 days, like how am I gonna get anything out of that? So I'm not thinking about the time. So I'm like, okay, great, fine. Yeah, I'll take you on. I landed my coaching business started in a hospital bed. I landed my first client. No marketing,
Wow.
no nothing else, no USP, no nothing. I'm just my passion and just pouring out into people.
Mm.
And that guy, he basically said, I want to hire you. I want to take this on. Okay. And so what ended up happening was basically, there was a lot of different things that had transpired, but what took place, I stopped thinking about the expiration date. I stopped that. The clock went off in my head. I just stopped it. I'm like, there's no life in thinking about my death. Okay. So what ended up happening was the next time I thought about it, I was about 10 days past my expiration date. I said, you know what? This is working. So I just kept doing what I was doing, coaching, kept doing my podcast, getting things out. And I looked up and it was 30 days past my expiration date. I'm like, you know what? This is working. Something in my life could be leveraged to create something that I wanted. What I wanted was to live. I wanted to live. And I was like, wow, there's life in pouring into other people.
Mm.
So at that point, what it demonstrated to me was literally the power of the possibility, power of possibilities.
Yeah.
What can happen when it's all on the line? You got nothing else to lose, and you just put your faith in what you heard God say to work, what would take place. And it was there that I discovered the power of leverage and the power of possibilities.
Mm.
Leverage within itself it gave me a possibility that transcended what the doctors told me. And that was a death sentence. So God turned a 10-day death sentence into a life filled with possibilities. And so from that point, I took on the identity of A.M., which means bringer of the light,
Yes.
so that I could then communicate and demonstrate the power of possibilities. What can happen in life when you choose to abandon everything that's been said, everything that, they say was supposed to happen, and you embrace what is possible. When you start thinking about what is possible through your life, what could happen. Ultimately, I was able to get out of the hospital. My body healed at warp speed as I kept engaging in my purpose, and I progressed enough to go home. But I still had this condition.
Mhm.
And so I was like, man, at this speed, I'd probably be good to go in about 6 months. Well, it wasn't quite like that. Actually ended up turning into a 14-year stint in a bedbound condition.
Wow.
14 years. And so I ended up taking on more coaching clients. I'm still something in your life can be leverage to create something that you want. So I started just talking with people and sharing with them with things. And then I started getting a lot of business people come to me for coaching. And I'm like, you know what? I should go into business coaching. I had a good business background. I came out of finance. So I was used to working with business people all the time. And I had built my own um, network marketing business. So I was good at team building and I was good at, client relations and all of that kind of stuff. So I said, hey, let me jump on it. Let me try it. And I, over the next 14 years, I'd actually coached hundreds of professionals, leaders, business owners, lawyers, doctors, even a couple of recording artists. I helped to train. I did a leadership training with an organization in South, who we did a leadership training in Southeast Asia for a Fortune 50 company. Um, and I did it all. I co-authored a best-selling book with my good friend Cal Wilson, who was Jim Rohn's 18-year business partner, and a group of authors. The book, Resilience, Turning Setbacks into Comeback. I
Mm.
was able to be a part of that book. I did a motivational recording, a CD, a motivation over music, with a gentleman, Roy Smooth, out of the UK,
Hmm.
and we did a EP called Challenge Yourself. Well, if you go on Instagram today, Challenge Yourself has been actually utilized in over 75,000 Instagram videos. So
Wow.
that's like 75,000 people who have taken that message and utilizes it to talk about their development, how
Mm.
they challenge themselves.
Mhm.
So I see challenges as a gift.
Yeah.
I was challenged with this thing, and to see what the possibilities were. And strategic leverage has been very powerful for my life. But I guess that's a long answer to your question. But I just wanted to show you where it came from, and all of the things that I have done, um, not in spite of, but because of
Mm.
my condition. I was able to build a six-figure business from a bed-bound position. And hey, I didn't do porn. I was making the money from my back, and I didn't do porn. So, but I also became a best-selling author, went back to school, got several degrees.
Wow.
I now am a doctoral candidate, graduated summa cum laude all the way through, coached over, I've actually now have touched over 100,000 people with my messaging in some form or fashion, worked with hundreds of coaches um, over the years, probably even more than that. And I've had some great mentors along the way.
Mhm.
And it sounds like I'm at the end of something, but it's just the beginning.
Mhm.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah. And I know, Coach A.M, from my own experience, that you meet people where they're at, but you won't let them stay there, right? You won't let them
Yeah.
stay there. You want to see them elevate and accelerate and make the impact they came here to be, but most importantly, really step into who they came here to be. And you talk about the power of possibilities, lying in that hospital bed, hearing that you like basically have 10 days. Who would have thought about the possibilities of what can happen beyond that? But there was light in you. There was something sparked in you. You knew that there was something in you that had to be leveraged, and you did that. But it also came from making a decision to do that and then seeing the results and wanting to inspire people. And I heard you throughout your testimony there about all of your strengths, not even probably all of them, but quite a few of them that you mentioned were your strengths, and how you do that with humbleness, but with pride too, with spiritual pride. That you've stepped into who you came here to be, to do what you came here to do without limits. You've leveraged those strengths and you can speak about them. It's how
Yeah.
do
So
you do that? People just
I,
focus on their weaknesses, what they can't do or what's impossible. So what can switch that? What is
well,
that switch that people can put on?
you used the interesting term. You said that pride, that spiritual pride.
Mm.
I call it the courage of your convictions,
Ah, yeah.
the courage of your convictions.
Mm.
And so, what that experience, outliving that 10-day death sentence, communicated to me that God had purpose in my life. And so there was something I was here to do. And he said something in my life could be leveraged, but he didn't tell me what that something was.
Hmm.
And I think that was intentional because it put me on this path to discovering what was in me.
Yeah.
It allowed me to really like dig deep and see what was in me. I call authenticity putting what's in you on the menu.
Mm.
So, you can't really do that until like you understand what is in you, what is in you. And everything that is in me from my gifts, my talents, the skills that I acquire helps to create a courage of conviction.
Hmm.
My competency plays into courage of conviction. My experiences plays into the courage of my convictions. My gifts and talents play into the courage of my convictions to help me, you know, I utilize those things as leverage to
Mm.
build relationships that become leverage, to demonstrate how you can your perspective. Everything gives me a perspective on something to see it in a way that most people can't see it. And that's a gift. I call that a gift within itself. So the thing that has allowed me to leverage without limits is my perspective. My perspective. Like you might see something one way and I see it in a totally different way
Hmm.
that allows me to to turn mountainous adversity into maximum advantage.
Mm.
Napoleon Hill said, every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. So when we begin to look at the challenges and obstacles in our life, um, you can look at them one way. You can see it as the plot of your demise, or you can see it as the stepping stones for success. Like this thing I see it as something that's going to bring out the best in me, and it's going to give me the seed of an equivalent advantage.
Mm.
So leverage by its definition is the use of something for maximum advantage.
Hmm.
So if adversity gives me an equivalent advantage, but leverage gives me maximum advantage, can't go wrong with, looking at where's the leverage into this? How can I see this? And I know I can do it because my experiences tell me, and gives me the conviction that God is with me. He kept me through the darkest time of my life.
Hmm.
And so with that, all of that plays a big role in it. And I'm always looking for the leverage in everything that I approach. And that's why we have the program now, Leverage Leaders, shameless plug. But everything is about showing people how to use the power of strategic leverage to ultimately achieve the what they perceive to be unachievable, the unimaginable, the unthinkable.
Mm. Hmm.
What I perceive is the unstoppable, the
Yeah.
limitless, the infinite, immense leverage. So we want you to have maximum advantage in life. Some people say living your best life. I want you to have maximum advantage so that you can truly indeed live out your best life.
Yeah, and one thing that really can motivate people and propel them, besides being in so much pain and wanting to still live, is that inspiration, right? Some people just don't have it or they lose it. They need some sort of, creative spark, some inspiration, being in spirit, having that energy, that passion, elevate them, to engage them. And you spoke about how you're really good at inspiring people. Where do you think that true source of inspiration comes from, Coach
Oh,
A.M.?
without a doubt, it's my relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard uh, Myron Golden. said that one of the most beautiful things about being a human is when God says something, he gives us the ability for all of us to hear it a little differently, to hear it a little differently. And so we both can hear the same thing, Jennifer. You and I can hear it, and you're going to hear it in a way when you filter it through your experiences
Mm.
and your life situation. And I experienced it through my experiences and life situation. We're going to get something out of it that serves our people in a very profound and powerful way,
Mm.
differently, but it came from the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why revelation is so powerful, because you can hear something that someone said in a way that is like, oh, I didn't even get that out of it, and it benefits people's lives. And I think that's the power of it. That's what makes perspective so powerful, because you might look at it and see this, and somebody else is looking at it and seeing something else.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, it that's why I embrace challenges. I don't want a business or a life that's exempt from challenges.
Mm.
I don't want one, because as long as I have the opportunity to challenge myself, I got one of the greatest gifts in the world,
Yeah.
the ability to get up and challenge myself. Like, I don't need, to rely on external things working against me to challenge myself. How do I make today better than it has ever been in my life? I'm
Yeah.
living in a day that has never existed. Why shouldn't I work to be the person that has never existed? Why shouldn't yesterday's maximum be today's minimum? How do I get better every single day? The only way I can do that is I have to challenge myself to do so,
Yeah.
to be better when I go to bed than when I woke up this morning. How do I do that? And so that's where it all comes from. But in the absence of challenges, you just grow weaker.
Mm.
Most people say they want to live an effortless life. They want to live that. They want an easy and effortless life. They're tired of going through stuff. I get it. I get it. Here's what I'm saying. Um, if I could speak to the audience who's eavesdropping on our conversation, in the absence of challenges, you just grow weaker.
Mm.
In the absence of challenges, you are going through a state of uh, deterioration. You need challenges in your life to make you better.
Mm.
Challenges doesn't always have to be a negative thing. They can be a positive thing.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself in your business. How am I going to make 2 times what I did last year? How am I going to touch 1 million people? Challenge yourself. How is our business going to triple our revenue this year? How am I going to triple my impact? I want to feed 100 people for Thanksgiving. Challenge yourself with something. Let your goals challenge you. Let them challenge to bring out the best of who you are. And if you do that, then you will too see the gift of challenges.
All of those questions too really open you up to the possibilities rather than the problems. And that's the power of
Indeed.
possibilities. It inspires us. And when you can feel that inspiration, you can gather that courage of your convictions. You can fuel
Hmm.
your passion. And I love thinking of the word passion as pass I on. I
Oh, yes.
Your soul's expression of what you're here to pass on in this lifetime. And what will ignite that? What will inspire you? What will give you the courage of your convictions so that you can leverage that you can choose possibilities over problems, that you can embrace the challenges, welcome them, watch it help you grow and evolve in this world. I mean, living
Yeah.
testimony, you
And the
can do
thing
it
of
from
it
your
is,
bed.
yeah. So like,
You
and the
know?
thing of it
Yeah.
is, most people like the concept of, how do I overcome
Hmm.
adversity? How do I? Well, for me, overcoming adversity is not so much getting rid of it. It's learning how to dance with it.
Hmm.
It's not about dodging it. It's about embracing it and learning how to dance with it. Because some adversity don't leave you. For some people, adversity may represent something that they can get over and never have to go back to. That's one type of adversity. But to someone who has a condition of incomplete paraplegia, it represents a totally different thing. My
Hmm.
adversity is here. And how do you become okay with that? You'd be
Hmm.
surprised at the number of people who basically crawl up under their bed and throw all their dreams away because they develop a physical limitation in their body.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at the amount of people, how they get discounted because they have a physical disability.
Mm.
I was told by a service organization that they didn't help people like me because I came with, you know, superior credentials and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to go to be a certified financial planner.
Yeah.
And they said they just help people to learn how to cut on computers. They didn't help people like me, you know. And so um, I've been um, challenged by communities to say that you shouldn't give persons with disabilities false hope. You shouldn't tell them that they could have things, that they could build a business, that they can have a better life, that they can get off Social Security and do some. I did all those things.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. I said, give that money to somebody who can't
Mm-hmm.
do. I can do. This disability doesn't limit me in doing. I don't allow myself to be conditioned by my condition. Challenging myself gives me the ability to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Without challenging yourself, it's hard to realize the power of possibilities.
Mm.
No matter what it is in your life, it's relationships, if it's business, if it's health. No, I don't care what it is. If you challenge yourself, you will realize the power of possibilities. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it.
That's what you're here to pass on. And maybe a
Yeah,
better word for overcome is breakthrough. And you've started this
indeed.
breakthrough brunch. And I mentioned that, I participate in that. I'm there every week. You want to share a little bit more about what this breakthrough brunch is?
Wow. So the Breakthrough Brunch was designed to ultimately give people a chance. Like some people, they really don't need a long-term coaching program. I, through experience, have realized that some problems can be solved in less than an hour.
Mm.
I've been able to deliver seven-figure solutions in less than an hour. I've been able to help businesses transform themselves from what they made in a year to doing it in 6 weeks. Everything doesn't take a long drawn out thing. That's the power of transformation. It happens in an instant, but people spend years and countless dollars trying to get to that moment. Well, I wanted to be able to help people. Sometimes they just need a breakthrough in their clarity, a breakthrough, just an insight to help them take the next leg of the journey. Okay. And so by providing a platform that helps people do it, providing some light training and an AMA where they get to ask questions and talk about what their challenges are, we can provide an insight that could help them take the next leg of the journey and get a chance to experience what it's like to work with us.
Mm.
And they can look and say, wow, I got that. Man, if I got that and all I had to invest was an hour of my time, what would happen if I decided to become a client
Mm-hmm.
and do that? So this is our contribution. There's really no, you can't position yourself to receive when you don't give. So that's my kind of gift to the world, to coaches, consultants, people in the service-based industry is get an insight. Let me get, share a breakthrough. Breakthrough is a gift for me. So, if I can provide some insight to help you see something a little different, to make a shift and change in it, if it does something powerful for you to help you move yourself forward, I did my job. If you decide you wanted to become a client and get more, then we're there to do that. But it's just I guess you can call it kind of like a labor of love,
Mm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and in helping people to grow. I've seen significant change in you, as a client, as a participant of the Breakthrough Brunch, just because you came into the environment. It it's powerful to get in an environment with phenomenal information. Myron Golden talks about that phenomenal information. Get in the environment of phenomenal information. By doing so, it can really open and give you a chance to hear something and filter it through your life situation and experiences and strengthen the courage of your convictions and challenge yourself to realize the power of possibilities for your business, for your life, for your family, whatever the case it may be. That's what we want to be able to do. And we do it through the power of strategic leverage, more specifically, laying the foundations for strategic leverage in the breakthrough brunch. So breakthroughs are huge. When you get a chance to experience a breakthrough, your life goes to a different level. And we want you to push to the level where the sky's not the limit, it's the view.
Mm, absolutely. So everyone that you're listening and watching right now, make sure you click on that link that's in the show notes there and join us. It's every Tuesday. You'll find out more information about that through that link in the show notes there. And you have a special guide too, Coach A.M, for the CEOs, the leading professionals out there, how they can actually succeed without having to sacrifice health and happiness, which unfortunately is a big deal these days. They don't know how to use
Yeah,
their time. They get caught up in reacting to everything all the time. And it's affecting their health, it's affecting their happiness, it's affecting their relationships. And you have a whole guide to get them through that. So that link is also in the show notes, but share a little bit about what they'll find there, Coach.
so literally, this guide, provides some insights as to what's going on in the business, why it's going on in the business, and how they can begin to change it into their life. It's a very comprehensive guide. It has over um, 25 different strategies that I've used over my 25-year tenure as a coach
Mm.
to help business owners to um, change, transition, and implement leverage in their business to create a business that looks more like what they want, something that gives them what they need out of it to create the quality of lives that they want. So I want people to know that you can achieve success without sacrificing your health and happiness. Your business shouldn't kill you, it should thrill you.
Yes.
It should bring a level of excitement to you. It should be the thing that energetically, like you almost jump out of bed, after
Mhm.
praying, of course. You want to do that first, but um, jump out of bed into the shower and puts a song in your heart, and, makes you want to, like, oh my gosh, I'm just looking forward to the lives that are going to be changed today. So that's what I want people to understand, that success doesn't have to come at the sacrifice of
Yeah.
health and happiness. So, they can go to betterceoguide.com and register and get that free guide to help them see that and provide some insights to them. I think it's extremely powerful. The feedback from it has been nothing short of amazing.
Mhm.
And I would definitely love, to provide that as well, give these people an opportunity to come to the brunch. I think it will be something very powerful for them to experience. Come and experience it now with me and get this free guide. That's just a gesture of my goodwill, just to say, hey, because I'm concerned about you and what it is that you're doing in your business. So I
Yeah.
think they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely. And Coach, I love to give too, and I really want to see people living their passion and purpose. So I also created a guide, and you'll find that in the show notes too, to a guide to living your passion and purpose, and also one for soul care. If you're ever going through a really rough time lately, you could use a little solace and how to find that in your everyday life. You'll find a guide for that in the show notes as well. Coach A.M, it's been absolutely incredible having you on the show. I love this every week on Awaken and Ascend that I get to bring in transformational mentors to support everyone watching. And I know I get so much out of it myself to really step into who they came here to be and do what they came here to do. So I really appreciate the time you spent with us, Coach. And I wonder if you have any other words of wisdom, inspiration that you'd like to share with the audience right now.
Um, Everything in life, it's not so much challenges do nothing but prove they were ordinary. How we respond makes us extraordinary. So I just simply say, if you want to experience the best life you can live, if you want to experience the true power of possibilities, if you want to experience um, a life that goes beyond your wildest dreams, the kind of life where what you're currently envision is the addict of the way that you really can live. If you're really interested in experiencing the power of possibilities in your life, two words: challenge yourself.
Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. I love that. Everyone watching, if you want that, Put yes in the comments below. We'd love to hear you. We'd love to create that momentum where everyone is saying yes to that. Yes. Thank you so much, Coach. It's been such a pleasure.
Pleasure here as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you have been watching on Awaken and Ascend. I'm Jennifer Regular, and we'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye.